Okay. All right. I guess we're ready. So thank you. All right. So what I want to at first talk about is how I got into the path, because I realized I'm 27 years in it. I realized that this morning I was coming from the house here. I was like, whoa, that's a long time, because I started in 1987. And when I went to my first time in India, I had no idea that I would be up here teaching, which I've been doing for the past 20 years, teaching about the chakras and even being connected to the Jyotish energy. Because I studied with my guru in India, a little bit of Jyotish, but he didn't speak English. So of course I got it through translators. So you know how hard Jyotish is, correct? And the more I study up to this day, the less I know. It's really, I mean, it's like so fast that I don't consider myself an astrologer. I can read a chart, I can feel a chart, because that's my, call it a gift if you want to call it that, but I don't really know everything about it. So my gift, and if I want to call it that, I'm a healer. So I have put that work, the Jyotish work and the chakras and everything like that, to work for my healing work, which really has helped me a lot, because I can see and feel a person because I'm a medical intuitive, and that's the key. But then you always need proof, because when I started in 1987, medical intuition did not even exist, as you know. So it was very hard to say, okay, why do I see in the body? What's the reasons that I feel the body? And the answer came in 93 through meditation. And that's the key. And then, of course, my teacher, one of my teachers, Chakrapani, which you all know, he did my chart, and I said, look, I haven't studied the Vedas. I know nothing. And he said, just feel the Vedas. The Vedas is inside of you. So that means that somehow I have, done the Vedas in a previous life or something like that, which I really believe in it. Welcome. And to me, it's really important to feel the energy and to feel our chakras. And feeling our chakras is the most important thing that I'm going to teach you today, okay? Really, of course, I'm going to give you some teachings of understanding your chakras, but I'm going to ask you we're going to do a little meditation in the end so you can actually feel how each chakra works. It's very simple. So this is my book. It's From Root to Truth, because I believe that the first chakra is your root. It's where we come from. And yesterday, some of you heard, you were here for Jeff, you kind of felt that what Saturn is about. So the first chakra is connected to Saturn. I don't know if you all knew that, but that's the connection. So in Saturn, and I'm going to jump a little bit to Greek mythology, because in Greek, and I'm Greek, of course, I forgot to tell you that. I was born and raised in Athens. In Greek, we have the god Kronos. Have you ever heard of him, correct? Which means years. Chronia is years in Greece. So Kronos, in Greek mythology, ate his children, correct? What Saturn does is, because it's your first chakra, it actually, if you don't try to understand your first chakra, it can eat you up. You know why? Because your family lives there. Your ancestors live there. And it's very difficult in India, and a lot of the rishis always talk, be careful not to open your first chakra, because there's a lot of stuff can come out of it. First of all your ancestors. Think how many people live in your first chakra. Can you imagine? 7 generations of your family, just this family that you live, just this family. So 7 generations of your ancestors, of this generation of your mother and your father. And I'm not talking even beyond that, which is previous lives, correct? So 7 generations is a lot. And another Greek person that I love very much, he's an amazing writer in Greece. He's from Crete, actually, from the island of Crete. He said, when you cry, your ancestors cry. Or when your ancestors cry, you cry because you feel them. So that is the first chakra, and that's Saturn. Saturn is here to teach you. It's not here to not teach you. It's not here to be mean to you. It's here to show you who you are. It's okay, Chandi. It's all right. She doesn't like, okay, stay. Stay, please. Stay. You sure? Yeah. Okay. All right, there you go. So the most important thing is to really understand your first chakra. And I'll always spend a lot of time on the first chakra, more than every other chakra. And the reason is because there's so much to really get what's going on in there. A lot of sicknesses start from Saturn, correct? And the older we get, what chakra really is getting activated? Saturn. And that's the key. It's try to keep your Saturn chakra clean, so when you get old, diseases don't appear. Okay, so he's your teacher. He's not your enemy. Never see Saturn as your enemy, because a lot of us go, I'm going into Saturn. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, I'm getting older. That's not the issue. Now, I'm going to show you where the chakra of Saturn is and what actually controls, if we want to put it this way. It's from the hips all the way down to your toes. Yesterday we were talking about other things too. Jeff talked about other things. But Saturn is from your hips all the way to the toes. Now, what goes first wrong when we get sick? Knees, hips. How many people have knee replacement, hip replacements when they get older? Because it's the motion. Saturn teaches you how to go forward and not to sit still. Because if you stand still in your life and you're not really, becoming, how do I say, not fearless, but not extremely. I don't want you to go jump off an airplane or anything like that, to like get the Saturn go. But let go of fears that our families and our ancestors are giving us. Because that's where fear lies. It's your Saturn, is your first chakra. So if you look at your family and you say, okay, what is my mother's fear? That's the first and foremost. What is my father's fear? That comes second. And Jeff said something very interesting yesterday, that when women get pregnant, the sperm carries the fear. And we'll talk about that in the second chakra, because that's very important for you guys to understand that. But the first chakra is actually about fear. Because if we don't move forward, what do? We're afraid. We're stuck. We hold ourselves back, correct? So think about, tell me one fear of your mother that you might recognize in you. Money. Money is very, very powerful place that is actually held in the chakra of Saturn, of the first chakra. Because if we don't move forward and say, oh, I have to pay my bills, what are you going to do? You're never going to pay your bills. And if you're afraid you're never going to have money, you're never going to have money. And I tell you one little secret on the first chakra, because I believe that I live my life through the chakras, which is very interesting. In '87, I lost everything. I lost $500,000. I got a divorce. I feel like universe said, okay, let's clean you up now, and I'll see where we're going to take you with this. Since very young, I had intuition. My grandmother was very much an intuitive. We come from the part of the Turkey that's called Izmir, and there the women are very famous for being very psychic, and you know that because there are a couple Turkish people here. Thank you for coming. It's great for me to connect Greece and Turkey. Yeah, it's powerful. And so my grandmother comes from there, and she was born actually from a family that it was in Turkey many years, and then she was born on the boat coming from Turkey to Greece, So they're all really intuitive. My family has that. My mother is amazing with dreams. Amazing. I mean, her dreams she will have a dream and it will come true within the next 3 days. It's so powerful. But when I was young, I can read, the cards, and in Greece we do, and in Turkey we do reading the Greek coffee or the Turkish coffee, and we can really feel things, But that was when I was younger. So I can read actually even tarot cards or playing cards when I was 9 years old for fun. But I had no idea because I got married and I wanted to do a typical life like we all do, which is get married, have a car, have a house, have children, which I didn't, and I'll tell you about that when we get to the second chakra. And then live a typical normal life. Money, which was very important at the time, driving a crazy car like a Porsche when I was 16, all this crazy abundant stuff. they took everything away from me, everything. I lived in New York with $20 for the month, okay? Which that was the money for me to eat in 1987. And at the time, of course, no one it was there to help you in this path because we didn't have the books, we didn't have the knowledge, we had to research, correct? Well, as they took everything away from me, they gave me things. You know, they brought things in. They brought gurus, they brought books. Books like Yogananda's book was thrown on my head in a bookstore in New York, correct? And then it was Muktananda. So all this stuff happened. But when you lose everything, what happens to Saturn? It eats you up. It's the old Greek mythology. Saturn eats his children. So I could have been actually stayed poor if I didn't have the strength, because the fear of money, because I don't come from a wealthy family in Greece. I come from an average family. Or give up. But I didn't. Because you know, they brought me that work. They brought me meditation. That was the key. So as they brought meditation in my life, I started researching, you know? And I tell you, my first meditation, it was so horrible. Oh my God. I went and sat to a lady. I went to a lady to do a tarot card reading in 1987 in DC. And she says, oh, come for meditation. I was like, wow, they're going to be a bunch of people smoking pot and doing drugs, and they're going to be a bunch of hippies. That was my idea of meditation, correct? In 87, come on, you have no idea. You don't know. That was my first acknowledgement of meditation. But something was saying, go. Just go. Don't worry about it. So I drove 45 minutes, and I get there. The first meditation, it was horrible. The second, it was as horrible as the first. The third started getting better, and then I started having visions. At the time when I started having vision, I was like, oh my God, am I crazy? Because again, I'm a person that comes from marriage, fashion industry, wealth, all this stuff, to the other extreme of losing everything and then figuring out, who am I? Correct? So it was very difficult. And I told the teacher in the class that day, I said, can you please before I tell you what I felt and what I saw, call the crazy hospital, bring a jacket, and then I'll tell you. Because I thought I was crazy. I thought I was making it up. I thought I was losing it. And the teacher said, Zephy, no, this is the truth. We do, in meditation, we do get visions. And you really need to start grounding those energies and understanding who you are. Now, this teacher was amazing. She had cancer, and her whole body was full of it. And she healed it in 38 days. She brought it down to this. All her organs were moved except her heart. So I realized that the medical intuition that I got, it came from there. So they brought me into the right energies, into the right people, into the right path. But I was open. I had really understand my Saturn. If I didn't understand my Saturn, I didn't know about Saturn then, of course, because that came into my life in 95, this work. If I didn't understand Saturn, even a little bit, and let go of the fear, oh my God, I lost everything, you know, why, you know, I can get into depression. Saturn is depression also, you know, and if I felt like I could not go forward, I would not have worked on my first chakra. So I took courageous steps. So I took steps that, you know, for my hips, my knees, I just said, okay, you know, I'm going to go forward. I don't care what's going to happen. I still was in New York with $20. And then, of course, someone came into my life and they took me to South Beach, Miami, when the fashion industry was very big at the time, and I worked there. But then it got, no matter what, I never stopped meditating to 93 that I moved here in Sedona. So I've been a Sedonite for a very long time. I'm not a woo-woo Sedonite. I'm a very grounded Sedona person, but I do have woo-woo experiences because that's the way it is. I mean, and I don't want to call them woo-woo because I respect spirit. And to me, spirit is inside of you all the way through. If you do have visions and you only stay here in the upper chakras, then you actually will lose your mind. But if you ground those energies all the way down to your feet, you will never lose your mind. You know, like Jeff was saying something yesterday about, what did he call us? He gave us a name. Had something about woo-woos. Do you remember? He said something, and yeah, I don't remember. He said something very funny. So about Sedona people. So, so the work of Saturn is very, very important. So remember, in the Greek mythology, they say the Kronos ate his children. In the Hindu tradition, they're actually saying if you do not, be careful when you open up your first chakra because it might eat you also because of all your ancestors. Okay? So imagine how many people live in your chakra. First of all, it's 7 generations, as we said earlier. I'm just kind of repeating things for the people that came in. So 7 generations. That is within your family lineage. Correct? With your mother and your father and the lineage they bring in. And then, that's not your sexual chakra. So if you all had complex that that's the sexual chakra, it's not. That is only where it's the enter point, the entering point. The sexual chakra is on the second, okay? Because a lot of people say to me, oh, everybody believes that the first chakra is the sexual. It's not. So if you know a little bit more, thank you for you guys shaking your head, because a lot of people freak out on me, like, you know, the old tradition, like, oh, no, the first is the sexual. No, that's the entering point. Now, that's where the karma comes in, okay? Because when and I'm going to go a little bit into the words like yoni and lingam. Do you understand those words, everybody? Okay, so when the lingam enters the yoni, what happens? That's the entering point. When it reaches, the end of the lingam actually reaches the uterus of a woman, that's when the sperm comes out. That's where fear is in. Because, and thanks for some of the men that have been here, and I hope you don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but the sperm carries a lot of energy. A lot of energy. And of course, it carries also the stress of what people gone through the whole day. So that it goes into the body and that enters the woman's womb, and then we get a baby. We create a baby, correct? But the sperm is the most important thing, and that's why in the second chakra, in the Hindu tradition, we call it Shukram, which is the male god. It's not Venus. It's a male god, and it controls the sperm. Correct? But in everybody else, we think Venus, Aphrodite, and all the goddess, but it's connection. It's connection to the sperm and to the goddess, because that's where creation happens. So any questions on the first chakra before I go to the second? No? You guys have a feeling about what I'm saying?
It rules 2 planets, Capricorn and Aquarius.
Yes, I'm not going to go into the, you mean the first, absolutely, and Dr. Frawley says that. Yeah, I don't really, I'm not going to go so much into, I can go through Dr. Frawley stuff if you guys are interested, I read it out, but I really focus on the planet, because for me, the planet is the most important thing that we need to really shift and change, but I can go and I can give it to you. I have that. I studied Dr. Frawley, you know, a little bit. So I can give you that information also. So, so you're okay with the first chakra? Yes?
I was just wondering, were you just, because I thought you were starting on the second with the lingam and the...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how I went to the second, but I just realized if you guys had any problem with, do you need to ask me anything about the lingam? About the first?
Yeah,
about the entering point?
But, no, but I was just getting that you were starting with the second.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's why I went from the, you know, the lingam, the entering point, to the...
Yeah, oh, I see.
Okay? The lingam into the yoni goes into the second, because the lingam reaches at one point, which is a uterus, correct? And it stops there. And then that's when the sperm comes out. Sorry to go into those details, but, you know, that's the truth. I can't really... So all that stuff gets influenced for us. It's really influences. Even how it enters and gets influenced, correct? That's why we're having people having... when they get abused, that's another subject, but it's a very big point at that to understand why we got abused as women and why the men actually felt to do that. It's just all, it's another goddess topic. I'm not going to go into that. So now we're going to go into the second. So we enter that, and there's 2 people live there. Only. You, the female, and the male. Your relationship. Second chakra is about creation and relationship. And the reason I'm talking about people is for you a little bit to understand what is happening in your bodies. Okay. Now, the only thing I forgot is that the color of the first chakra, well, he put never. So, well, you saw it. It doesn't matter. It's no big deal. I'm not going to worry about computers and stuff like that. It's too complicated. It's too complicated for me. I'll just let it go. So, yeah. Is it here? Okay. There you go. Do I close the door now? Are you guys okay? Okay, because it's getting a little bit chilly. So the color of Saturn is red. Okay? And just wanted to let you know very quickly, a little key. If you really want to work on Saturn, you work on Saturdays, because that's its day. And even the most important thing is you can even wear red socks, because that grounds the energy of the color. Color is very important in our bodies and in our healing techniques. If it's really important. I work with color all the time, and I actually use a specific color coordination for people that come to me to heal themselves. And in different, I can talk with different diseases and different issues, and I use the sounds and the colors, the sounds of the color also in the meditation. So it's very important, color, but simple thing, just wear red. Just wear red in your socks, in your toes, because that will ground the energy. And red is very powerful. You're going to say it's the blood. It is, but it's earthly. It's earth. Red is earth. So grounding the energy is very important. And I will teach you that in meditation. We'll do a little meditation, how to ground your energies. Okay, the second chakra, it was from the lingam to the yoni and then the sperm, correct? I'm going to go back into it. 2 people live there. You male and female. We all have it. We all have, on our right is our male, and on our left is our female. So that's why you see, have you ever seen or noticed Shiva and Parvati? Shiva is on the right, and Parvati is on the left, correct? If you know a little bit about that tradition. Do you know a little bit about the Hindu tradition? I'm asking you in the center. Okay, good. Okay, so there's a representation, and that creates Shakti. Okay, that's the Shakti energy. It's in our second. So orange is the color of the second chakra. Now, so as you can see, I do have a combination of orange and red today, because I was like, what do I wear? I love red. But then let's talk about creation a little bit. Creation is mother. It's the Mother Earth, correct? We walk on her. So even in the Greek mythology, Kronos made love to the mother, made love to the goddess on the earth. Yeah, as we call it. You guys know Yeah. Have you heard of her in Greek mythology? What would be the American term? Yeah, I think we have one. But anyway, I'll call her Mother Earth, so it's better. So that's what she made love. That's how they made love. That's Shiva and Parvati also. The spirit and earth. Because Parvati, what's her story? She came from earthly people. She came from a male and female mother on this earth. And then Shiva was God. But then she became even as powerful as Shiva, and even, I can say a little bit stronger than Shiva, because she killed the demon, correct? Which is our negative ego, which is our negative side of ourselves, our dark side, which in the second chakra is very important. First and second, the most very important for you guys to understand your dark side. Your dark side is the most important thing in this path. And your dark side is what? Your negative thoughts, your negative emotions, stuff that you carry from your families, correct? And that is in the first and second. Now, if someone in the family had an abortion, I'm just saying that as an example, you guys might feel it 3 generations down. Have you heard how the DNA actually says if there's a sickness in the family, in 4th generation, it might show up down in the 7th generation or in the 5th generation? Why you think that is? Because we carry that energy. And you never know where this sickness is going to actually show up, in which person. Because you can say, my mother had the sickness, or she had the abortion, but it shows up in your child, or even in their child. So you don't know how actually everything's going to transfer. Because when the lingam enters, actually opens up that first and second chakra. So when the baby comes out from your second chakra, in their crown, because they come out of the head, and I'm not talking cesarean, I'm talking coming out of our womb, out of our yoni, the correct way. In the crown, they pick up all that energy. As I'm talking about, I'm getting chills. Okay. Well, that's what a lot of wrong things have happened, because a lot of kids now born with cesarean. So that's why they're a little bit more quick on not receiving so much karma. I don't know if you noticed the younger generation, they're kind of nonchalant about stuff. They don't, they're not receiving that. They just don't care about stuff. I don't know if you noticed that. A lot of younger generation is just out here. They're not how we grew up. Because a lot of us came through the natural way, correct? How many of you came naturally, correct? Most of you. How many came with cesarean? Okay. Did you, you came with cesarean?
No, I made a cesarean. Our kids.
Oh, your kids came with cesarean. Because, yeah, in Europe now, it's the easiest thing. Okay, the doctor says, because he wants to get paid, he wants to have free time, you're going to have the baby at 9 o'clock, so I'll be there, you be there, and let's have a baby. So the natural process we lost it. And then that's how the woman's actually chakras open, the first and second, is by bringing a baby through her first chakra. That's why the crown, you know that, the baby spot bends. It's very soft, bends like that, and it comes through. And then the Egyptians, you know what they did? They always kept that spot soft. They shaved the heads, and they used castor oil for this spot to always stay soft so they can receive information after they were born. So they had the hat. You remember that hat? Some Egyptians have, the pharaohs and they have a hat. The reason they had that is to protect it. But they always use castor oil so this place can stay soft since birth. Because they believe this is where we receive information. This is where the truth is, as I say in my book, correct? And this is our root. So we need to root the truth. That's the key. If we don't root the truth, we're not doing anything. If we live in our upper chakras, forget it. We actually can lose it. We have to stay in the grounding chakras, first, second, third, and up. Now I'm going to tell you something about Ketu and Rahu in the end that you guys are going to go, whoa. But I'm going to get there. So, second chakra. It's orange. You work it on Friday if you want to work it. If you want to work with that, because that's her day. Of course, you can work with the chakras every day, but that's the most powerful days.
Which planet rules it?
Venus. Okay? And remember, that's where you find balance, in your second chakra. You male and female finds balance in your second chakra, because that's creation. If you don't create, what happens? And I'm not talking just babies. I'm talking creation. Create your life. If your second chakra is not open, you will never create your life. Because again, it's blockage. So then what happens, the energy would leak. I call it leakage from the second to the first, and then you lose it because it comes out of the first. So we need to contain our energies in each chakra, and that's the most powerful thing. You need to contain them. Now we're going to go into the third. The third is, what do you guys think it is?
Solar plexus.
Solar plexus. Okay, the color there is yellow. There's some confusion there. Some people say that's the sun. It's ruled by the sun. I say it's controlled by Jupiter. And the reason that I say that is because that's where our digestive system is. And Jupiter always gives us a little tummy, or we get a little bit fat when we get into Jupiter. Have you noticed that? Yeah, when I go into Jupiter, I gain weight. I mean, that's, even if it's my subdasha or if Jupiter goes through my first house, I gain the weight. And I gain it all in my stomach. But, as the gurus say, the tummy is wisdom. So might as well enjoy my tummy and have wisdom with it, correct? Because that's Jupiter. And what Jupiter does is self. It's I. It's actually our self-confidence. And Jupiter is about teaching us self-confidence about who we are. Correct? And it, like I said, it also controls our digestion. But the reason it controls our digestion is because this is the cutoff point of the lower chakras and the upper chakras. So if we don't digest the energies, not just food, if we don't digest the energies well, the chakras never will be open. The third, the second, and the first. They will stay, yes? Okay, if we don't digest the energies, because it is about digestion, okay, we will never actually digest the energies from spirit, from your crown chakra, because they will be blocked. It will stuck here. And I watch a lot of people in my work that this part of their body is cut off. So one part is here and the other one is here. So many times I have to bring it together, to push this energy together. Because people just say, I don't want to deal with my daily stuff. I don't want to deal with paying the bills. I don't like it either. I don't like to deal by doing things in my regular life. I just want to be here. This is fun. But then the body gets split. So the body is your temple. Why do you want your body to be split? You need to feel and understand everything that happens in your body. So this is your cutoff point. That's your third chakra. And the day is Thursday. And the color there, of course, as you can see there, is yellow. It's beautiful yellow color. And how many people here have problems with digestion? Okay, 1, 2, 3, okay. So what did you guys have found? Can you tell me what you have found when you have an issue with your digestion?
Well, actually, my issue started after my pregnancies, and since then, I've been having a lot of acidity. I can't take caffeine and different things like that, and I found, like, even almonds, I'm not able to digest. Earlier, I had no problems, so it's a notice that I just...
Okay. How did you give birth? Do you give through cesarean or natural? That's good.
But my pregnancies were really tough.
Difficult.
I had hyperemesis gravidae, my body rejected everything.
Everything.
So since then, I've had this issue, but I'm still happy with it.
Yeah, you're dealing with it. Well, I will give you a technique how to start actually working to push that energy down. Because there was something at the time, and I'm not going to do any emotional, because we work on the emotional body also. I'm not going to talk about that, but there's something emotionally was happening at the time. Because they say, about allergies, do you know the joke? The more you're allergic to something, the more you crave it. That's exactly what they say about allergies. So if you're allergic to something, you're going to want it because the body wants it. Okay? So to let go of allergies, because it's an emotional issue, we got to tap into the emotional issue. So there was some emotional stuff was going for you at the time, maybe. How many pregnancies do you have? 2. 2. And it happened in both of them or from the second? Both?
Was the same thing, but my, the whole acidity thing started after the first pregnancy.
After the first pregnancy. Okay. Anybody else that want to share digestion?
I think mine came from generations back.
Mm-hmm.
I had it all the time. I've always
Since you were born.
aware of it, and astrologically, my Virgo is.
So you brought it in from there to clear it.
Right.
Exactly. That's what happens, Or even in the pregnancy situation, maybe the souls came in and they said, we don't want to deal with that because we're very grounded, we're very there. So let mom take the issue. Sometimes that happens. So anybody else wants to share a digestion problem? Who was one more person? No? Okay. So everything happens from emotion, correct? So again, I'm going to stretch that. If you don't clear your third chakra, your second chakra, and your first chakra, that's where all your emotions lie, you can never really open up your chakras, ever. Okay? Now, I'm going to go into the heart. And any questions on the third? Everybody's okay? Okay. Because I can give a lot of more information, but I don't think I have the time. I can get more into the medical intuition, but I think we don't have a lot of time on that. So on the heart, the heart to me is the most beautiful chakra because it's the bridge. It's the bridge between spirit and earth. Okay? We have a couple bridges in the chakras. So, but do you know that your hands are part of your heart chakra? This area right through here is all of it in your heart chakra. This is your receiving and this is your giving. This is you female, and this is you male. Okay? Mercury runs that chakra. Okay, Dr. Fraley, if I remember correctly, I look at my notes, he actually goes into the heart chakra and he puts Venus in there. I disagree with that. Huh? Good? Moon? No, this is Mercury. But Dr. Fraley says it's Venus. Dr. Fraley is it's a scholar. It's a very much in the Vedic. He's one of the scholars that a lot of us respect. I disagree in that because for me, Venus is again male and female living in here.
Does he also say the sun for wait a minute.
For Jupiter? No.
Jupiter.
I think
Himself like Jupiter, he says. Jupiter says because that's if you produce.
yeah, Jupiter is in the second.
Jupiter is a particle for children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He says Jupiter. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's Jupiter on the
He
second.
says it's Mars because Mars is a current.
Yeah,
God center.
exactly.
And God come from Mars.
Yeah,
That's the third. Fourth, he says Venus because Venus is love.
yeah, exactly.
Is love.
Exactly. So, but I go more into the medical intuition and what runs the body. So it's not that I disagree 100%, but I can see the point. I don't want to disagree with Dr. Fraley because I respect him and love him and know him 25 years. So, and I love his work. So I really believe that this is Mercury because this is where the heart needs to communicate. And Mercury is the communicator, correct? The color there is green, like olive green or bright green as you see in the chakras. So for me, what?
I learned emerald green.
Yeah, it's more, or it is the same, it's the same thing, but it's the earth green, okay? Because love comes from, we have to love the earth, and we have to hug the earth, correct? We just hug the earth, or hug ourselves. So that's why the hands are part of the heart chakra. And when you do healing work, the most important thing to remember, you receive here, and you give here. If you don't know how to receive, you can never give. To be a healer, receiving and giving is the most important thing. We learn that in Reiki too, if a lot of you have Reiki. Receiving, giving. And if you see the Buddha or you see a bunch of mudras, their hands are normally like that, correct? In different positions. So learn how to receive. And as a healer, you always receive from the universe. You should never receive from anywhere else. I mean, you should receive from people, but if you don't know how to receive yourself and understand what you're receiving from the universe, you can never give it. And then, once you give it, you receive back, correct? Because that's what the woman's body is. She receives the sperm, she gives, and she gives a baby. And then she receives all the love, everything that comes to her. So we are the earth girls. No matter how you figure it out, we are the earth, and they are the sun. The males are the sun because they only can shine on us constantly. And that's the support we need. We need to be shined on so we can have the support to do what we need to do as females. And that's what the mother does, correct? What does she do? She receives the sun, and then she gives birth to beautiful greenery, to beautiful flowers, to the how you say, animals, to everything that we see, she gives it. But she's constantly has sun on her, which is Shiva. Correct? So really think about that when you balance in your male and female within yourself and in your relationships. We cannot get away from men. We love them. We have to understand how much they're there for us to shine on us. Because most of you are girls in here, so 2 men. I have to honor you guys as much as I can because a lot of people, we got into the path of the goddess now and everybody says, the goddess, the goddess, the goddess. What happened to the god? The god is important. If the sun doesn't shine on you, if Shiva is not there for you, or for us, for all of us, there's no way we can survive, correct? They're the sperm. Without the sperm, we can't give birth. So we cannot, we have to heal our heart. That's why I get into that point of healing the heart. And male needs to heal how female feels about saying, oh, I'm a feminist and I need to bring my bra and I need to take a masculine side to be like the man and get paid like the man. I don't care about that. I don't want to get paid like the man. Let them do the work. That's fine for me. You know what I mean? I love sitting around and receiving. No, and I don't mean it, I'm not meaning to take it to the point that I want to find a rich man to marry. That's not what I'm talking about. Let them be masculine. That's the powerful part, Now, when the man takes the masculinity to an extreme and a woman takes her femininity to an extreme, that's very wrong. But let's bring it into a balance, correct? Let's bring it into the balance. The man, female is inside of you. It joins in the heart because of the hands. And your hands are healing. Even if you are a trained healer or you're not trained healer, if your heart is open, we can heal anything. We can hug, and you know how we heal our children. We don't have to be healers to understand our children. We hug them, we kiss them, we love them. No, so learn how to hug yourself first also. So remember, in your body, the male and female is very important to be honored within yourself. Okay? That's what the goddess does. You know, she has to honor her powerful self, part of herself, and in the other hand, she actually has to honor the masculine side of herself and her feminine. So it's okay when, you know, a guy comes in, Parvati always has a sample, she's the beautiful wife. But when she becomes Adi Shakti, be careful and watch, because she will just actually slay your ego, slay the demon, correct? So, but all of it is in her heart. All of it is in her heart space, because that's where we're powerful from. It's our heart. And not the, I don't know, oh, okay, it's giving us a red leaf. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what my computer will do, so I'm not a computer person. So anyway, so it's very important in your heart to open it up, to release all the negativity, to release all the negative emotions, and really, really connect with the earth, you know, the mother. Not her root, which is her fire, but in your heart, it has to be your heart chakra. And that day is Thursday, okay? Wednesday, sorry. That day is Wednesday. So Mercury it's a Wednesday, it rules by, it rules Wednesday, the god Mercury, and it's also communication. And the reason that that's there from the teachings that I had, and I remember I learned that in 1996 because I was very, very, very curious to find out a lot about medical intuition, because the only person that knew at the time medical intuition in 93, it was Caroline Meese, which was the anatomy of spirit. You all heard of that. And she's one of my teachers that I love and honor, because she was the first one who said, this is what we do. We're not psychics. I mean, which has like a lower connotation, and back then it really had a bad lower connotation. But we actually see inside the body, and being medical intuitive, you have to have all your chakras really worked on, opened, so you can receive the information. So she was the first one actually, and I received a tape from Hawaii. I had just moved here in 93, and back then she didn't even have the book, and she was giving a lecture. And a friend of mine said, take this, read it. And inside, she described exactly what I was doing. And I had no idea in 93. I had no idea that I was a medical intuitive, that I was going to teach meditation, that I'm going to be here with you guys today. So I feel very honored for that. So understanding the chakras and understanding how you receive information is very important. And the heart needs to actually be as open as you can and as balanced as you can to receive this information. Because you can doubt it. You can doubt yourself. You can doubt everything. And it's in your heart. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't have unconditional love for yourself, no one else can love you. And then what we do is we believe that we have to find someone else to love us. Correct? But no, we have to love us first. We are the balance. And if we walk in balance within ourselves, then the partner that we create will be a balanced partner. It will be a partner that actually walks with us, next to us, not one behind the other and try to chase love. We don't want to chase love. We want be love. We want to be love. That's the new thing. To create love, it's not there. You don't create love. You don't search love. You are love. To actually have love in your life. So you can love from the most little thing all to the big thing. But give it you all. Give it you all in love. Don't hold back. And that's going to help when we open up Saturn, because then you have no fears. Correct? If you open up Saturn, you can actually love. Because Saturn ate his children, has a ring around it, is all about depression and suppression and close. But if you can open it up and let go of all those negative emotions that lie in that chakra, then you can actually love. so the energy can move through. Now, we're going to go into the 5th chakra, and that's Mars. And I will explain why Mars, okay? And David Frawley, if I remember correctly, he has the throat as Mercury, because that's communication. But I will say that we have a bridge, another bridge, as I told you earlier, you know, the bridge from here to the 1st chakra. We have another bridge. It's from here to the heart, and then we speak. And you know why is that? Because if we stay here, if we stay in our minds, we'll speak out of fear, out of negative thinking, out of, you know, our words can be very powerful, correct? If we want to get some, if we're mad, we can destroy someone with just our words. We don't have to beat them up. And that's what Mars is about. It's a forceful planet. It rules the blood, but the blood gets hot, and then we speak out, correct? We get really mad. So what is the first thing we do when we, like Jeff was saying yesterday, we see an animal and our head goes, we got to run? No, the first thing we do is scream, and then we run. Do you notice that? You don't run. You scream first, and then you run. So Mars is about expression. Now, the other thing it's great for Mars, if you guys a little bit understand, what Shiva did, took the poison, and his throat is blue. You know why? Because once he was swallowing, it was taking all the negativity in. And that's Mars. Negativity is Mars. Yeah, negative speaking, negative. So the throat is blue. That represents Mars. Okay? As you can see, it's a little bit the turquoise blue. Well, it's not correct here, but it's right in here. This is the chakra, but it's the turquoise blue like it's in Shiva. Okay? So we have a bridge. The bridge is always not speaking from here to here, but speaking from here to here, and then out. So receive information, place them into your heart chakra, and then give them to others. So even when you get mad, I'd rather get mad at a pillow or in my shower and scream, or I used to drive up the canyon and scream, which was beautiful. I released a lot of it that way when I first got here, you know, because I didn't understand. So singing is powerful also because it opens up that chakra really in an intense way. But, you know, if you want to scream, scream. Just open it up. Do whatever you need to do to release all that negative energy from your throat. So that becomes the bridge. So your heart, everything can transfer from the mind to the heart and then give it out. Because that's the most important thing about speaking. Okay? So now I'm going to go into the the 6th chakra. Yes?
Laughing? What about laughing?
Laughing?
Yeah.
Laughing is from the throat also. Yeah. Yeah, it's 5th chakra, yeah.
Exactly what is the color for?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's blue. It's the turquoise blue, the Shiva blue. And then we do that, it's on Tuesday. Okay? Mars Day is on Tuesday. And they say pretty much in India, don't fly on Tuesdays. Have you heard that before, correct? Don't fly on Tuesdays. It's very interesting. I'll just be careful what you say on Tuesdays. Because I love India. I'm Greek, so we have folklore and different things about doing, and I go to India and it's similar. You just have, oh, don't do that because of that, and I love it. I don't know why. I know it's superstitious and whatever, but you know what? I love it. I believe that the ancients had such a tremendous knowledge of everything, and to me, I'm not going to be a modern person because modern person is letting go of you ancient. No, modern person is taking you ancient teachings and what you grow up with and bring them forth, but in a different way maybe. Not in the old way, like I'm not going to stay home on Tuesday, but I like to take a day off on Tuesday. I like not to work on Tuesdays. And I used to do that a lot. When I worked a lot in a place here in Sedona, I had an office when I first started. And on Tuesdays, it was always my day off. And I felt good about it. So I would just drive to the canyon and scream. No, no, not all the time, but most of the time. And it was such a gift. And I remember one Tuesday, I had gone to Flagstaff, and I saw this beautiful statue of the thousand-arm Kannon-sama. She's a Japanese goddess, which actually represents Adi Shakti. They have the same, similar, with the trident and the sword. Kind of Kali, but the bigger aspect of Adi Shakti and of Kali. And then, so I said, oh, and I parked right in front of it, of the store window. And I was like, what a beautiful goddess. And I had no idea about her at the time. That's like in 96, 97. So I was like, she's got to be mine. I was like so attracted to her. So I walk in there, and I said to the guy, he's a great guy. A lot of us know him in Sedona, Kelly, Sacred Rites. I don't know if you know. Yeah, you know Kelly. So I walked in there, and I said, Kelly, this goddess, how much is she? He's like, $1,000. Because she was an antique, it was wood, it came from Japan. I was like, oh my God, I don't have that kind of money. So I looked at the goddess and I said, if I make $1,500, actually it was $1,500 if I remember correctly. If I make $1,500 by next week, Tuesday, I'll come to buy you, to get you. I said that to her, and Kelly heard me. He goes, don't put a spell on her, I want to sell her. I said, okay, if someone else wants her, I can let her go. So Tuesday, I go to my office, and the next Tuesday, never go to work on Tuesdays, correct? And I'm downstairs. Before I go upstairs, I open my book, and I'm like, what am I doing here? It's my day off. And I checked how much money I had made that week, and it was $1,500. I dropped everything. I went and said, don't put me on, I don't want any appointments, because I got to leave. It's my day off. What am I doing here? And I went and bought her. Then Kelly said to me, well, I thought over the weekend you can have it for $700, and you can post-date as many checks as you like. So for me, when you speak your truth, and this is when I brought it out, because I didn't put a spell on her. That's what he thought. Like, don't put a spell on her. Let me sell her. But when you speak your truth, and you know inside, and you feel it deep in your heart, that happens. It might take a week. It might take a month. It might take a year. It doesn't matter. Speaking your truth on your fifth chakra is very important. And the reason I'm saying that, because intuitively, on the sixth chakra, I knew that she was mine. And she's in the center of my altar. Of course, Durga is the center of my altar, because I do have a big altar at home. But she is the first goddess I got at home. And I had no idea about her. So to me, speaking your truth, you always receive gifts. But intuitively speaking your truth. Not out of need, because I did not need her. Intuitively, I felt her in my heart that she was mine. And getting it for half price, it was perfect, and posted a bunch of checks. And I had made the money, correct? So speak it. Speak what you want. Speak your truth. Write it down. Your intuitions are very important. The first 30 seconds of your intuition is the truth. Do you know that? The first 30 seconds. After that, the mind goes in there, analyzes, gets all the, as I call it, I'm not going to say that word. I call it the mind, chatter, okay? Because the mind gives us all this stuff. And what do you do with all this stuff when the mind sits and analyzes stuff? That's why we can't meditate. Because the mind will say, okay, I have to go shopping. Okay, you sit in meditation, and I got to go shopping. And then you go, I have to buy this and this and this and this. And then I got to do that, and then I got to do that. And then I got to look at the list. And instead of saying, I'm just going to go shopping. Can you do that? If we do that, then we can meditate. Because what happens is you focus on only shopping, not analyzing the shopping list. And it's okay to honor that thought, but not sit and analyze it. Honor your thought, even in meditation. Because a lot of us have a very hard time meditating, correct? Some of us, it takes us longer than others. Some of us do it a little bit quickly. So my first 3 times, it was horrible. I told you that when I began. It was the most horrible 3 times. I couldn't even sit still. And it was an hour that we had to still. The third one, I actually was drooling. I came out of meditation like that, drooling, literally drooling. And I had the vision. I mean, before the drooling. So, and it was just because I totally surrendered to that meditation. But before, it was my mind saying, okay, what I'm going to do with this, and I was going through so much because I had lost everything. I was analyzing my life, and I was saying, how I'm going to find money to pay for this, and that just ruins your meditation. That makes you really, not really feeling it. Because then you sit still. You can sit for an hour, but if you analyze it, you're not making anything. So honor the thought that comes in. Say thank you to the thought, and then let it go. That your meditation will come stronger and stronger. And you should do that as long as you can. It doesn't matter if within an hour 20,000 thoughts come in. I'll go there in a minute. You see, there you go. Instead of focusing, you're over here. So focus. Meditation is focus. Bring yourself back. And the ancients say that you need to meditate as old as you are. Now, if you're 20 years old, you meditate for 20 minutes. Is it 30 minutes? Okay, I'm getting there. You need to meditate. If you're 30 years old, you meditate for 30. If you're 50, you meditate for 50. If you're 60, for 60. And, because each minute represents your life, your year of your life. So you heal. In meditation, you heal. So that minute, within that minute, correct meditation, you can actually heal yourself. Okay?
Do you have to meditate like 60 minutes, or can you split it? Like 30 minutes in the morning?
That's a little bit Western for me. But if that's okay for you, do it. Do 30 minutes and 30 minutes, But normally, they say bring them all together. To do it all together. If you're 60, you should do 60 minutes. Now, that's ruled by the moon, okay? And I think David, David, at this point, he has moon and sun there. And I know why he does that. Because sun is the crown chakra, okay? This is where we receive information. And the crown chakra is the sun. Anything I didn't say about, the color. The color in the fifth chakra is blue. Okay? And there is a major beautiful meditation that Muktananda always taught. You all heard of Muktananda, correct? He talked about the blue pearl meditation, which is a very powerful meditation to do. You realize that there's a little bit, your pituitary gland. There's a little dot right in there, really little tiny thing. And it's actually like this, if I remember it correctly, because it was shown to us. But see it sideways. I'm going to put it flat, but see it sideways, okay? So it's like that. And there's the little dot in there. But it's sideways. It's this way in your head, in the center. And normally what we do with this little dot, because we're Westerners and we live in the outside world, we don't meditate anymore for many years, we push that outside. So it's like reading and wanting to get information through TV. It's always outside. We look outside. But with this one, what you need to do is push it back. So when you become an advanced meditator, you can actually focus on that chakra, on your sixth chakra, and visualize that little dot, which is in the center of your head, and push it back. And what that means is that the energy of God going to travel through the crown chakra, the energy, all the way down to your first. Because as it opens, it's the channel. Now, your telepathic channels, do you know where they are? Anybody? Okay. See this V right here in your back of your head? How many of you have a lot of pains there? Like if you push it, you'll feel pain. We hold past lives on the bottom here, right there, on the corners. We hold the past lives, and in the center, we hold our telepathic nerve. And a lot of people always have this area very tight because the energy, again, it doesn't go all the way down. So now I'm going to go into do we say the color? Yes. In the crown chakra is ruled by the sun. The color there, the energy is indigo. A lot of people think that's white, but it's actually indigo. I know. She's shaking her head.
Indigo I learned for
The third chakra.
no, this chakra.
The third eye chakra. Yes, I know. Yeah.
And this is supposed to be light amethyst and white light.
Yeah. Well, I I'll teach you about the white light in a second. Okay, so because any questions so far on the chakras? Do you guys have a feeling about them a little bit? Now, my book goes a little bit in more details on it if you want it, and it's a little workbook. I'll tell you about it. But the most important thing is, and I'm not going to have time to go to this, but what I'm going to say about this is the cycles of life. Okay, chakras actually move through this cycle, the cycles of life. So 0 to 7 is the moon chakra, which is very important for children. And when we do predictions on children, we never do their charts between 0 to 7. Because we allow that to be who they are. And we can do like a little bit like an abhishekam, or I think, what is the age that they shave their heads normally in India?
First year or
The first year or the third year, exactly. Because then they have received all this information. They want to take the hair out because the hair is your antennas also. So they take all this hair, and because they're clearing the karma from previous lives. So we never read charts. I would never look at a chart of a child that's 0 to 7. I would take it to a priest if he needs to do an abhishekam or something like that, and let the priest take care of it and do whatever to do. But we don't do remedies for children. Okay? Now, and I'm just going to go to tell you all this very quickly, and then you guys, because I put it here anyway. So the birth is 0 to 7, and it's moon. 8 to 14 is Mercury. Very intense, because that's when people learn expression. We don't need that anymore. That's when people need expression. Okay. I'll just turn it off. And that's where they learn expression, correct? In the first 7 years, what do? The paint, they need to be creative. They don't put kids to study from 0 to 7. Let them be creative. That's moon. That's what creation, this is the third eye. The third eye needs to open, and for them to have that information come in. So I would do recommend for kids to learn after 7, because that's where they learn, that's where Mercury's in. And that's, of course, Sarasvati also. So that's when they take the children to Sarasvati, around 7 years old, correct? Because Sarasvati, you know, the goddess Sarasvati, she's the wisdom and the knowledge and the creation. And what they do is they do pujas on their tongue. And they give them, they speak mantras, and they do this beautiful, I've seen it. I've been part of it in Mogambiga, which is the most beautiful temple for me, for Sarasvati, in India, in the south. Anyway, so then from up to 14, that's when they're learning. 14 to 21 is Venus, and that's where all the fluids and the kids want to learn a little bit about sexuality. So you know how that happens in teenagers. That's the age, 14 to 21. And then, I have the older ages. Just give me 1 second. And then from 21 to 28 is Sun. The Sun chakra rule works. So each those years that I'm saying, it's a little bit similar to the dashas. You guys familiar with the dashas on the Vedic astrology a little bit? It's similar to that, but I cannot, right now I'm not going to have the time to put it all together. But I'm just giving you that for maybe the next time, because it takes longer. Then we have age to 28 to 35, which is, again, the Sun chakra, because as you know, the Sun, it's a longer cycle. And then 35 to 42 also, it's a Sun chakra. And then 42 to 49, and now there's so from here to here, to 49, we're in the Sun. From 28 to 49, we're in the Sun chakra. So that's where we become in our heads. That's where we stay and analyzing and do the business. And, you know, we just have finished college and we want to learn, and just, it's a constant learning time. Then from 49 to 56 is a Jupiter cycle. Okay? So a lot of our digestion problems will start at that time when we get older. And if we have a weak chakra, we get, if the Jupiter is weak, we get sick there. So all of them, when they're running, if we get sick in those ages, it's because we haven't worked on those chakras. Okay? Then we're going to go into Saturn, which is from 56 to 63. Okay? And then it will continue 63 to 70. So remember, before you get there, because none of you are there yet, 70 years old yet, correct? I don't feel it. Even if you are, you don't look it. Work on the first chakra. It's very important. Work on the first chakra. Try to clear it. And the most important thing with the first chakra is write it. Just get stuff out by writing also. I forgot that. Because again, hands are the heart, correct? So as you're writing, things get released. Now, we're going to go into 70 to 77 is Mercury again. And then 77 to 84 is Venus. And I can go a little bit longer, but I need to have time. Hi. That's okay. You came on the perfect time. We'll just meditate now. And then 84 to 91. Again, we're going into Sun. All the way to 105. So Sun runs all the way to 105. So this is a little bit of being able to predict what happens in the chakras. And then if you're an astrologer, you can actually connect it to the dashas. Okay? But it's a very detailed, so we're not going to have time to do that and meditate. So what do you rather do? I'm giving you a choice. 20. Meditate?
Yeah.
Everybody, yes.
On the sixth chakra, you said it is the ruler is sun.
No, on the 7 is the ruler sun.
What was the
Moon. The 6 is moon. Okay? Yes. This part, no. Because I teach this because it's very complicated to be in a book, if that makes sense. I kind of teach this for us to really be able to look at a chart with not needing a computer and not knowing a medical astrology. I actually teach this so you can figure out exactly what chakra was running. But I'm telling you what's predominant in those ages right now. So as you're working in your chakras, you understand what's predominant when a child is born is the moon, correct? Because that's the intuition. I'm so glad that he's here. Thank you. You're honoring me coming in my lecture. So that is the important thing, to know what's predominant. Yes?
Are there quick tips, to open each of, or to help control or open?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to do in meditation. That I'd give you, and it's in my book. It's called, my book is From Root to Truth, the one you saw there, and it actually tells you exactly how to practice. So, before we go into practice, it's 21 days that you practice this chakra. That's a quick tip. You focus on the colors, you focus on the day, and you actually can fast or be a vegetarian if you're not on that day. So, if you're going to, and always start from Saturn. From the first chakra. We don't start meditating from here down. We need to clear the earthly chakras, and then we meditate up.
But Reiki starts from here, right?
Yeah, but that's bringing energy in. That's healing. Okay. Now, if you want to do something with yourself, yeah, energy, Reiki is always, but you have to bring it all the way to the feet. And a lot of the books never teaches us to bring it into the feet. A lot of the hand positions in Reiki stop here. If you notice that. Do you remember that? It's just if you have a good Reiki teacher, will take the energy all the way down to the feet. Okay? So remember, this is Saturn. You're walking on the earth. Ground the energy. I'll teach you how to do that. We're doing it in meditation. Now, so I said it. Fasting, color. You can wear the color of the day also. If you have like an intense Saturn and you really want to work on your Saturn, you can wear red or black, because Saturn is... Subramanian actually is black, but I will wear red just to enhance the chakra. Then you can wear each chakra. You can wear the colors of that day, or even put undergarments that have those colors if you don't want to wear them outside. Okay. So red is so much fun. I have always my students buy socks and even underwear. I tell them everybody to go buy socks, because they're like, how can I do it? How can I be in it? Just go wear socks, and they will remind you the color, on Saturday, or for the 21 days that you working on the chakras. Now, the most important thing that you need to do is remember the 21 days, 18 to 21 days in any work that you do in the spiritual path. It's the time that they're going to say to you, oh, come on, go back. Oh, you've done it enough. You get bored. It's 21 days of this thing. That is when you need to push it. And you take it to the 28th day. And then that's the shift. You know how they say, the modern people say, if you sleep in one side of the bed, just just change the habit and go into the other? And how many of us always goes to this, to the original side? Does that make sense? Or if you wear a watch, they tell you to fix your brain by changing where you wear your watch. But then it's common to watch it, even if you wear it here, to go here, because that's normal. That's what our brain is doing. So you need to shift that, but you need to go past the 21 days. And that's what the book is about, okay? Vegetarian of the day of the chakra is very important every Saturday or whatever. There's other remedies, but this is the simplest way to start working on your body. There's so much remedies for each chakra, and it's for each planet and all that, you got to get into it to be able to do it.
How about alcohol?
I'm sorry?
Drinking.
Oh, no. If you're working on that, no. Coffee? You can do coffee. It's okay. But, I mean, I would say a cup. Don't have coffees all day long. But I will probably, for me, if I want to work on my chakra, I just use water. I use water, lemon water with a little bit of cinnamon that day of me practicing on my chakra. The next days, you can do whatever you want. Drinking, smoking, if you can just kind of get away from it that day and see if you can have what is that? What is the American word, English word? The strength not to be with it actually will be better. Now, the thing that I wanted to tell you about Ketu and Rahu, that's going to be very interesting because Swamiji is here, and I think he's going to go, what are you saying? Okay. In the first chakra, we have the snake. I'm not a good drawer, so, we have that's not a snake. Okay. We have the snake, correct? But it's all like that because it's not ready to wake up yet. Correct? Now, Coiled, yeah. So what happens is when the snake wakes up, okay, it goes up through the chakras. So it goes up. Now, do you guys know a little bit about Rahu and Ketu? Okay, so who is Rahu? What Rahu does?
Illusions.
Okay, and he has no body. Okay, only head. So this is Rahu. Correct? Now, Ketu, what does Ketu do? Ketu is headless. So this is Rahu. How you spell Rahu? I forgot. H. Oh, God, my head stopped. And then Ketu. Sorry. I'm Greek and I don't even spell well. That's okay. All right. So this is Ketu. So for me, Ketu rules the first three chakras. Because they're hidden. We don't see them. I know you might not agree, but I'm going to go there. So it's hidden. We don't see them. Okay? And Ketu is hidden. Rahu is pretty much in our head. So remember when I told you earlier that we cut our bodies in the middle? So when we cut our bodies in the middle, that's how Ketu and Rahu runs. Now, if we bring our bodies connected, from the third chakra, everything down is connected to the top, then Rahu and Ketu works together perfectly. So if you really want to raise your Kundalini, remember this. Don't ever cut yourself here. Always work on the first chakras. Now, the Sivites do an extreme thing. They actually break the first chakra, correct? They do. And some of the males, because they're more males, they do extremely things, like they will lift their legs up and they will bounce down. A lot of Westerners try to do that. They have broken legs. I know many of them. The other most extreme thing they do, the Shivites, and you guys can see them on YouTube and stuff like that. It's not something that I'm not. They take the lingam and twist it and someone stepping on it so that I can crack that first chakra. There's extreme measures. I don't want you to go there. But if you work on your first, second, and third, then this energy will run so much better. And you're never going to burn your Kundalini. Never. Because all the emotions that you have cut in those first, second, and third, it will be cleared. That's how we burn our Kundalini. I think Jeff talked a lot about that yesterday. You burn your Kundalini when you still have unresolved issues in you, like his grandfather was smoking, drinking, blah, 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 correct? If you have unresolved issues, then that's exactly what happens. You cut your body in half, and the Kundalini will never rise. There's no judgment if we drink, smoke. I've done it too. I never smoked. But I've done my share of drinking when I was 27. And I drank so bad one day that I said, because I was in the fashion industry owning a club, and I was like, I woke up and I didn't remember anything. And I said, what am I doing? I woke up, and back then I hadn't even started meditating. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to die. I'm going to be found dead in somewhere. And that was it. I stopped it. But I had the experience of extreme drinking and not remembering. And if I tell you how much I had, you guys are going to laugh. 3/4 of a bottle of tequila by myself. I slept for 3 days. Didn't remember what I did. Threw up the whole time. Hey, that was enough for me to understand drinking. Excuse me. But I was 27. I had to go through that. It's okay. And if I can talk about it, it's because I have worked on it. I have no shame of my drinking at the time. I might did it once or twice, but it's okay. Because we learn how to be and honoring our bodies as a temple. We can be born as a temple, but we don't have that knowledge, correct? We have to get to that knowledge. So experience your life, if you have. Do not feel ashamed of it. Clear it on your first, second, and third. Don't hold shame, negativity, analyzing yourself, judging yourself. Let go of that. Oh, 10 minutes? So then I'm not going to have time for the meditation. All right, so let's meditate. So I just love talking about this because it's so important for you guys to be able to clear yourself. And my book tells you how exactly to do it, okay? Do you have any questions for me? Do you agree with that or disagree? It's okay? Okay.
When you said you were extreme drinking, are you in Rahu Mahadasha?
No, I was in Mercury. I haven't gone to Rahu. I think I was born into Rahu, I think, if I remember correctly. But I'm just in K2 right now, and I'm coming out of it, right? By April 2016, I'll be out of K2.
It makes sense whatever you said. In the Vedic text also is when you protect your Kundalini, always it helps you to grow more better.
Yeah.
And many people asks me this also when we do the yajnas, should we stop the alcohol, what are the things what we need to do, and if you fundamentally, if you want to know exactly when you're doing some sadhana, you're not supposed to sleep on the bed also.
Yeah, that's true.
No comfort
Whatsoever. Yeah.
So then you get the more authentic result. But in the modern world, we cannot say if don't sleep on the
Yeah.
bed, the next day nobody will call us.
You're absolutely right.
So, we have to watch our, daily routine also. So, there are some other ways to work around. But see, the thing is when you go to a doctor and doctor tells you to take the medication in such a way, and no doctor, I will take the medication with the alcohol, without the water, he won't say no to you. But it's our own judgment. Because these all things works with the energy, and always there is a negative energy and positive energy clashes in our body. So that is the reason it's better when you do this, especially the Kundalini Sadhana. I have experience with many of my students, and they do this Kundalini Sadhana and they never stop the alcohol.
Exactly.
Say only one drink in the evening. That's fine. One day you will find out and come back to me. So I know that they will come back to me. So they said, okay, so, I can't sleep at night and this is happening. I said, just stop alcohol. And next day they said they're fine.
Yeah.
So that not only alcohol, forget about alcohol. When you do this sadhana, no onion, no garlic.
Yeah. That's true too.
Huh?
No coffee also?
No. As again I said, coffee is a normal thing. It's not going to harm you. But onion and garlic, it will awaken your energy up. And when you are sadhana, it's not good to do those, eat those things.
And I was running Saturn, just to let you know, not Rahu.
That answers.
I was running Saturn. I went into yes.
Just one more question. I've
I agree.
So, in some ways, I'm very interested in all of these chakras and helping heal my body, but I'm also sometimes afraid of, I don't want to move too fast, maybe go at a natural pace.
That's why I do it so simply. This is just a little bit advanced that I told you about Ketu and Rahu, because everybody says to me, where's those planets lie? But I'm not suggesting, even in my book, we're not suggesting about opening any of your Kundalini energy. I'm suggesting for you to clean your energy. And if you take the steps of a month, 28 days on each chakra, as I suggested in the book, and I suggested here, it will be just an easier transition. It will take you 8 months to even understand Rahu and Ketu. So forget Rahu and Ketu. It was just a little note, for people to understand a little bit of the rising. But if you focus on those days, you will clear your chakras. And it's just focusing on each chakra. Yes.
So if I'm working on my first chakra, I work for each straight 21 days.
Yeah.
Up to 28 days.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the point of 21 days is you find that wanting to go back, then push yourself to do it one more week. That's all it will take you. 28.
Like work on each chakra for 21 days.
Exactly. Yeah, so every day, and then just push you. But remember, the day of the chakra is the most important. So Saturday for Saturn.
How can you isolate a chakra, one chakra? Because when you meditate,
Well,
you have to go.
Absolutely. This is the key. And what I'm going to teach you now is the first chakra, because we're not going to have time to do the rest of them in the meditation. And I will teach you for a second, 5 minutes, how to bring the white light in. So let's just take deep breaths.
5 extra minutes
Can we?
because we started maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, for everybody. I don't want to keep everybody here. Okay. Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, we'll take extra 5 minutes. I'm just going to find the right. And I'm very gentle and very simple because I don't believe in extreme measures right away. And I don't believe in people that saying, oh, I just took a chakra class and I'm a teacher. I've been doing this for 27 years, as I told you. So it's not easy teaching a class just because of what you just got or read in a book. Okay? So start taking deep breaths. Take your shoes off if you have to. And put your hands in your, uncross your legs, not to be crossed. That's very important also. And if you're in the bottom, if you're sitting on the chair, I don't want the legs crossed. If you're sitting like that, it's fine. So just breathe and relax. Close your eyes. I hope you can hear it. Now your breaths should be as deep as you possibly can get them. So you inhale from the nose, exhale from the mouth. And feel the in-breath all the way down to your first chakra if you can. And I'm going to count 10 breaths. Now as you're inhaling, remember you're inhaling positive energy. You exhaling negative energy. You exhaling the stress of your day and pretty much the stress that you've been carrying all this time. 5. If thoughts come in, just let them go. Don't hold on to them. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Now just get into your breathe a little bit naturally, the normal way. If you're yawning, just know you're readjusting the energy in your body. That's what yawning means, specific when you meditate. And now visualize this beautiful white light right above your head. It's coming straight from the universe. And it comes and sits in your crown chakra, actually in the back where the bindu is. Now see if you can actually take this white light down your spine. Try to make this white light as wide as possible, like a telephone pole. It's moving down your spine. And if it feels like you're stuck somewhere, just take a deep breath and push it down. Even if you don't see it, just know that it's there. Now take it down all the way to the coccyx. The sacral, the sacred bone. And if you're stuck somewhere again, just give it a deep breath. Always breathe from your nose, exhale from your mouth. Now visualize this white light from your coccyx is going down to the earth, to the center, to her fire. So it's piercing the chair, the floor, the cement, the top layer of the earth, and it's keep moving down, down, down to the center. And her fire has all the colors. The red is there, the orange is there. All the chakra colors are within that fire. And make it a huge anchor, like a ship. Like one of those huge ships in the ocean. They have this huge, huge anchor. You anchor in yourself. You ground in yourself into the earth. But at the same time, you're connected with the universe. It's as above, so below. And if it's hard right now, it will become better and stronger as you're practicing. Now bring the focus in your first chakra, which is from your bottom of your feet all the way to the hips. And the way you do that is visualize the red color covering that area. The red should be bright. It should be vibrant. And if it isn't, or you have a hard time in a specific spot visualizing that color, that means there's an issue there. So with patience and focus, that area also will get bright. But at the same time, ask that area, what's the emotion behind it? If your knees having an issue and the right doesn't go there, ask to give you a word or a feeling or an emotion. If you have sensations in that area or lower back pains, that's also part of the emotion that you're carrying. Now take a deep breath, as deep as you can, and slowly bring yourselves back. And open your eyes as slowly as you can. Don't rush it. Anybody felt anything? Anybody wants to talk about anything on the first chakra? No? No sensation, no. The white light? It takes a long time because we're not grounded. Okay, so that means you need to work it. Did you ask what is the emotion behind the dark red? That's a very important thing. We're gonna, if you do it, you're gonna do it longer at home. Fear. So write that down. Take a note of that fear, and then the next day see how it feels when you do it. The third day, see how it feels. And then the fear will say, "I'm fear of that," because underneath everything is fear. So if you're yawning, because I know you're constantly yawning. You're saying probably you haven't slept, but yawning when we meditate and before we meditate is clearing the energy. It's very important for you guys because we're taking oxygen because we're breathing correctly in and out. And the reason we breathe from the nose in meditation is because we take all the positive energy through the body and then we exhale. So it's actually kind of like a Qigong method. You inhale from the nose, and it's pranic healing also method. You inhale from the nose, the body circles around, and then you bring it out. So it goes down through the first chakra, comes up through all the chakras, and then you release it. So when you yawn, you readjust your body, and that's the key. A lot of people say, why am I yawning? You're clearing, and you're actually readjusting your energy within your body, because the jaws is the ones that open up, and that's Mars, and that holds anger. Okay? So you're clearing. Jaws are connected to the first chakra. So when I do a medical intuitive class, I'll let you guys know. Now, my website is ancienthealing.org. I do send newsletters out a lot every month, if you guys want to be part of it, of the newsletter. So there's different stories, because I travel a lot, I work a lot, and I tell people what's happening and they can experience it. And my telephone there and my little book, if you really want to practice on the chakras, is very simple. It's at the bookstore. ancienthealing.org. And I would suggest with the book is do not read to the second chakra. Focus on the first, and then read the rest of the chakras. You know what I'm saying? As you're focusing on each chakra, read it. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sorry we didn't have a long meditation. I was planning for a 30-minute one, but it didn't work out. So practice, practice, practice. Clear, clear, clear. That's my blessing. That's my prayer for you. Thank you. Thank you. Blessings. Oh, I know I said something about the soaps in there, but it was about their remedies, but it's okay. We got remedies enough.